This is Kelso Sturgeon. Welcome to one of the biggest weekends of the football season, also a giant weekend in basketball, another session at my College of Advanced Sports Handicapping. When I say a big weekend, I'm going to mention this obviously at the end of the video, but this Sunday I'm releasing my NFL Game of the Year. It's a 200-unit play. I got the money last year with the Buffalo Bills, minus 4.5 with their 23-0 win over Washington. 8-2 in these games the last 10 years. Already won my college game of the year with Fresno State over Colorado State. So once again on Sunday, releasing my 200-unit NFL Game of the Year, and I certainly intend to get the job done. Just keep that in mind. I'll get back to that very shortly. Also on this report, I'm going to give you a free play in Saturday's football, but we'll also get back to that in just a minute. In tonight's games, that's Friday night, releasing 25-unit plays on Northern Illinois and Kent State, who meet in Detroit for the MAC championship. Two outstanding teams. It's been a long time, and maybe never, I don't know, I didn't research it, since the Mid-American Conference has had two teams ranked in the top 25, and both these teams are nationally ranked. One of them, I think, if Northern Illinois wins, especially Northern Illinois has the opportunity to go get a BCS at large bid. But still, this is a tough game. You know, the only game that Kent State lost this season was in the second game of the season at Kentucky, back in the days when Kentucky was healthy and playing good football. The only game that Northern Illinois lost this year was the opening game at Soldier Field against Iowa. They got beat by a single point. Two tough football teams. I have a very strong opinion on this game, and you know, Northern Illinois is 7.5-point favorite. 55 is the total. I believe I know exactly the two elements that will win this game, releasing it as a 25-unit play. And then we have what I call a rather strange game. You know, UCLA is playing at Stanford for the Pac-12 championship. These teams played on Saturday in the Rose Bowl at UCLA, and Stanford won that game rather easily. Now they bounce right back, and they have to meet again in the game that will decide, number one, which Pac-10 team has the opportunity to go to a BCS Bowl, although that bid might go to Oregon, which is not playing in the title game. This is a tough ball game. Stanford an 8.5-point favorite. The total is 45. I also have strong feelings on this game, and I certainly will be in action here, another 25-unit play. So tonight, two 25-unit plays on the playoff games in the Pac-10 and in the Mid-American, and I do believe I'll win them both. 25-unit plays. They're also on tonight, Friday night, releasing my 50-unit NBA Game of the Week. Now, on Saturday, a couple of things that are very important. Number one, I am releasing all three of the big conference, the major conference championship games. That's 50-unit plays. I'm not releasing the Tulsa Central Florida game in my regular services, but I'm going to give you the winner of that one free here in just a moment. But let's talk a bit about Alabama and Georgia, playing for the SEC championship in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Alabama 11-1. Only loss was to Texas A&M in Tuscaloosa, 29-24. Great game, and they just got beat by a better team on that day. Georgia's only loss came at South Carolina, 35-7. Obviously a good South Carolina team, but certainly not 28 points better than Georgia. Let's just say that was an off day. So you have two 11-1 teams meeting for the SEC championship. Alabama's a 7.5-point favorite. The total's 50.5, and I guarantee you the number will be in play in this one. This is two hard-nosed, talented football teams. They both play tremendous defense. Alabama has what I call an unspectacular offense as when compared to Georgia, but the strengths and the weaknesses and the matchups in this game really make this a showdown battle. I would say this. I'm going to release this game at 50 units, and I do believe I have the winner. Just a little advice to you. Do not assume that either team can win or cover in this game. Both these teams can play. There's a few things that are going to decide who wins it. I think I know what it is, and you can get this game on Saturday from me. Also, a 50-unit play on the ACC championship game. Somewhat of a farce, really. Florida State 10-2 taking on Georgia Tech in Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Florida State lost last week to Florida. Tough loss. Only other loss this season was at North Carolina State by a single point. Georgia Tech just backed into this game with a 6-6 record. I don't think that Georgia Tech can beat Florida State, although I wouldn't rule that out at the 100% level. But this, I don't think, is a matter of whether Florida State beats Georgia Tech. It's a matter of whether Florida State covers the number. And right now that is Florida State -14 with a total of 61. Now the Nebraska-Wisconsin game, which will be played at the Lucas Oil Stadium indoors in Indianapolis, home of the Indianapolis Colts. This is a very interesting game for me for a lot of reasons. First of all, if you recall when these teams met earlier in the season at Nebraska, Nebraska ended up winning that game 30-27, I think it was the last Saturday in September. Wisconsin opened up a tremendous lead in that game and then just, for whatever the reason, fell apart in the second half, and Nebraska came from behind and got the money. The only two teams that have beaten Nebraska this season they lost at UCLA 36-30. They lost at Ohio State 63-38. Now, let's get into a little bit about Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin is only 7-5, but I think they're still a very dangerous football team. Their two losses came in the last two games. They lost at Ohio State 21-14. This is the same Ohio State team that beat Nebraska 63-38. Then last week they got beat at Penn State 24-21. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind here. The 5 losses that Nebraska suffered this season have come by an average of 4.7 points. In other words, they have been in every single game. They just couldn't put it together and get lucky and get it done. They have an outstanding running back in Monte Ball, very solid football team. Might give Nebraska all they want. Once again, I have a strong feeling on this game, and I intend to win that one. So we have 50-unit plays on the SEC game, Alabama and Georgia. We have a 50-unit play on Florida State and Georgia Tech, a 50-unit play on Nebraska and Wisconsin. You can get all 3 of those games on this website and toll free at 1-800-755 for just $50 charged to your major credit card. I do take all major credit cards. Now, let's get to that free play, which I think is very important. I'm not giving this game away because I think that it's not worth including in part of my package, but it just doesn't fit for me. And that's a Conference USA Championship game in Tulsa between Central Florida and Tulsa. Now, Tulsa's 2 losses this season came at Arkansas, 19-15, and then last week at SMU, 35-27. I can't explain that one, but it happened. Now, Central Florida has played Tulsa this season just 2 weeks ago, and Tulsa won that game in Tulsa by 2 points, 23-21. The other 2 Central Florida losses came at Ohio State, 31-16. And then they lost at home to Missouri in their next game, 21-16. 2 very good football teams. Tulsa's a 2.5-point favorite. And I can tell you right now, I will be taking Central Florida plus the 2.5. I just think that this is a coach's game, and I give George O'Leary a big edge in the coaching category here. 2 talented teams. I think that Tulsa will find it very difficult to beat this team twice within a 3-week period. So my play in this game will be Central Florida plus the 2.5 over Tulsa. I look for Central Florida to win straight up by from 7 to 10 points. Now, as I said, this is a big week, and I'd like to run down some things. You know, in addition to the 2 college playoff games tonight, the 25-unit plays on Northern Illinois and on UCLA Stanford, releasing my 50-unit NBA game of the week. Now let's get to Saturday. Saturday, I've already said I'm using 350-unit plays in the major conference playoff games and intend to win them all, and I do think that I have the edges. I could put together a book for all the data and the information I printed out on all three of these games. I can assure you that I'm ready to win them all, and I intend to do that. Now, you know, I went 8-1 this season with my 200-unit college blowout plays, and that does include my college game of the year. But I think I can do exactly the same thing. I know I can do exactly the same thing in college basketball. And I'm going to begin this weekend. I'm releasing my first 100-unit college blowout basketball game of the week. You can win it. You can get it right here on this website or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. All major credit cards accepted. Also, going for my 50-unit college football game of the week. You know, this has been one of my strongest plays the entire season. Found a team today that qualifies, and I'm releasing it. So on Saturday, here's the plays. We have the three big major conference playoff games in a single package for $50. We have a 100-unit college blowout game of the week, $50, and a 50-unit college game of the week, also $50. All available on this website and at the office, 1-800-755-2255. Now Sunday, releasing my 200-unit NFL game of the year. You do not want to miss this. I have waited for this weekend for the last month. I wanted to use this team a couple of weeks ago, but I decided no, I'm going to wait and see if what my eyes see really is there, and it is. And so I'm stepping in, intend to win this. As I said earlier, I won my 200-unit NFL game of the year last year with the Buffalo Bills, minus the 4.5, 23-0 over the Washington Redskins. Excuse me, 8-2 in this game the last 10 years. Intend to win in absolute, convincing, dominating fashion. My 200-unit NFL game of the year. Also on Sunday, releasing a 3-team package to my Best Bet Club clients, 15-unit play on the Eagles and the Cowboys on Sunday night. We'll highlight that package. And then going for another 50-unit underdog winner with my Chairman's Club. Last week I won with the underdog St. Louis Rams over Arizona. Found another team in precisely the same spot today, coming back with another 50-unit underdog winner. Once again, this is a giant weekend in basketball every single day. Football, it's never been more important than it is this weekend to many teams. The NFL tomorrow, that 200-unit NFL game of the year. You can win them all on this website or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. And once again, I take all major credit cards. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.